This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of those days the news is just way over the top on everything. I think people are all mentally ill now. Are we teaching people to stop using their brains and just get mental illness? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, and we do that every day on this show.
We do that on this show. That's very, very true. There's no question about it. I thought I'd start the show with a lighter moment, just a list of things that people say that make no sense. Just a little lighter, because the world right now has lost its mind. Kath and I were just literally talking about this a half hour ago before the show even started, about how I have to take steps back because people annoy the piss out of me. The things that they do and say, would you calm down? And we'll get to something with Chris Egert this morning. AJ and Tevin were talking to me about this, that he's got some information on this incident that makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Something happened at a local high school, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I'd like to open it up with a little maybe leaning toward humor first. Seriously, Catherine and I just had this conversation half an hour ago. She goes, Tom, you got to dial it back. You got to calm down. I said, Catherine, when am I going to get a chance to calm down? If I do calm down, I'm going to get hit in the head with a pipe. Jesus, whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll open the show with a little light information.
Okay.
What is a common thing people say that makes no sense? And there are lots of them, of course. Mm-hmm. Regular criticism of AI and ChatGPT is that it occasionally spews nonsense, but in fairness, so do smart humans. Someone on social media asked, what's a common thing people say that makes no sense at all? Here are some of them. I look back at this when I was a little kid I went, well, that makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see if some of that's on the list. What is this? Skibidi. What the hell is skibidi?
Skibbity.
Oh, skibidi. Okay.
That is even younger than myself. That is like a new slang term or phrase. To be honest, I really still don't understand what it means. It's usually accompanied by skibbity toilet.
Yeah.
I think I still don't know what that means.
Skibbity toilet?
Yeah. And like, if you look it up, there's some sort of image of a head in a toilet.
That's skibbity.
Yeah.
Is it vomiting?
It means bad or good or weird.
Bad or good or weird. Okay, so we got it dialed right in.
Yeah, so it's very specific on what it means. So if a kid says that your shirt is a skibbity toilet, who knows? It's either weird, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad.
I want to ask any guy out there who thinks he's a tough guy. I want you to go to my old high school, the North High School, and walk up to somebody and say that and see how much longer you're breathing.
Yeah, and it's also a YouTube video.
Oh, no wonder. That doesn't surprise
YouTube
me. YouTube
show. So.
Oh, it's a show. Skibbity.
Yeah, it looks like there's 4 episodes.
Number 14 is everything happens for a reason, unless you consider sometimes the reason is people are stupid and make bad decisions. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah, probably because the bad things happen because people are stupid as hell. And I think they're getting dumber, by the way. I really do. I wish we were getting smarter, but I suppose we're being headed in the wrong direction. There's too much money involved now with teaching, don't you think? And I'm not blaming teachers. I'm blaming the institutions. It's just there's a lot of money involved in education now, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Once you get to the university level, it's definitely big business.
Oh, yeah. This is another flip-flop of convenience. The early bird catches the worm, but there's also this. The second mouse gets the cheese. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of these I'm going to have to skip because this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
The first one gets caught in the trap.
The first one gets caught in the trap.
Yeah.
So that one makes a little sense.
The early bird catches the worm. So that's there you go. You get the worm. I got a worm for you right here. People alternately advise don't sweat the small stuff. It's the little things that count. What? Didn't you just tell me to do two opposite things?
Yeah. Yep.
Happy as a clam. I don't know what the hell that. Would you know if a clam's happy?
I I see. I don't know about that one either. Maybe because like when they pop open, you could say that they're smiling and then there's going to be a pearl inside or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Still doesn't mean they're happy just because they're smiling.
Yeah,
I smile at people all the time when I'm pissed. I was like, yeah. That's the smile you get. And number 10 is the biggest pile of BS I've ever heard because it's all that matters. Money can't buy happiness. Yeah, okay. Why? Because you want to hold on to it all and not give any of it away? Is that why it buys your happiness?
You know who says that? People that have an abundance of money.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If you gave me $1 million right now, I could absolutely buy happiness.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 million you could buy. Well, you could buy like 1/14 of a condo in West Palm Beach, so that'd be good.
Student loans would be gone. Car payment would be taken care of.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be coasting.
Very good point. These next two I just love. Number 9 is for all intensive purposes. No. All intents and purposes, yes. All intensive purposes. This is one of my favorites because I used to hear this in North Minneapolis all the time as a little kid. Yeah, Mr. blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, I'm sorry that happened. And they would say, yeah, well, irregardless. There's no such word as irregardless. Where'd you come up with that one?
Yeah, it's just regardless, correct?
Regardless.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Regardless of that. Irregardless. I don't know where the hell that came from. People referring to a lion being the king of the jungle without realizing lions don't live in jungles. That's true. Very good point. Yeah. See, here it is. Saying someone did a 360 when they changed, that would be a 180, not a 360.
Yeah.
Okay. We finally made it to the top 5.
All right.
6 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I hear that all the time, particularly in the South. What time is it? Like 6 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, because when else is 6 a.m. going to be? It's not going to be a night.
Nope, absolutely. Oh, yeah, here we go. Unthaw. It either thaws or it doesn't.
Yeah,
because if you unthaw, that would be freezing.
Yeah,
That would be freezing it.
the term you're looking for is it's frozen chicken. That's it's not unthawed chicken.
Yeah.
Or they're dethaw, apparently. You can say dethaw, too. I've never heard dethaw. I've heard unthaw before.
It would be
but not
defrost.
Yeah.
Defrost. Yeah, there you go. Very good. Number 3, I slept like a baby. Babies are infamously awful sleepers. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't sleep like a baby. I love this.
What if you're saying that as like I got a terrible night's sleep? I slept like a baby.
Yeah,
Well, then you're fine. Yeah.
I was up tossing and turning all
Crying.
night, pooping my pants.
I slept like a baby. In other words, I whined all night and started crying. That's exactly right. Number 2, I'm healthy as a horse. If you have a horse, you know this doesn't work. It doesn't jibe at all. Horses are not that healthy.
Yeah, and notorious for like if they sprain an ankle during a race, they like almost immediately get put down.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. And number 1, of course, I've always loved this one because I used to go to the gym a lot and I heard it all the time at the gym. I'm sweating like a pig. Well, pigs don't sweat.
Yeah, they don't have sweat. That's why they're considered like a dirty animal because they can't get the toxins out of their body and people don't like eat pork. Yeah.
So I wanted to start the show with a little humor this morning because there's so much horrible stuff that's going on in the world. It just, is it ever going to stop?
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like anything really is getting any better. These
woke
last
up
couple days.
Woke up this morning, was in a great mood. Then I watched the news, like, I hate everyone. I try to, is there a good news service where you can leave and go, well, that all made sense. That was nice. They weren't trying to push anything down my throat. They weren't trying to plug anything.
I think your issue is that you're watching news on TV, and I
Yeah, what is?
Because you're always going to have like a narrative of a person like behind a desk and like because nobody, unless it's like a robot at some point, and whether it's next year or 20 years from now, 50 years, whatever, when we get to that technology,
right?
There's going to be some sort of bias there, I'm sure. And so if you go find a neutral site, like a website that has these news articles, and you read it yourself, then you kind of can interpret the facts to your own like being. So,
right.
And that changes too. Like if you are right on the middle, then that works out great. But I'm sure there's other people that could go to the same exact site with more of a left-leaning bias and interpret, which is weird because it's hopefully in this case facts on a page, but interpret those facts maybe a certain different way.
Sorry, I had to talk while you were talking, but Jude came over and I had to say hello, and now he's leaving. If I don't say hello, he will not leave.
No, that's just fine. I would say hi to any dog that walked in here right now too.
Dogs are
Got to check.
Always have been one of my saviors, to tell you the truth, because dogs are even keel. They just want some pets. They want to sit on your lap instead of, I'm in this for the money. It's like you're a dog, so calm down. But we have to take a break here. I'm glad I read all that stuff because it proves what I've been thinking since I watched the news this morning, that I would say 90% of people are incredibly stupid. Is it that high?
It sure feels like it some days.
Okay, good. That's all. Okay, I'll go along with you. Some days, 90% of people are stupid. Mm-hmm. We'll go with that. All right, we'll take a break here. Be right back. Chris Egert will join. Well, first of all, it's not going to be Chris Egert. It's going to be Judd's going to be with us, and of course, he's a genius, so that'll really help things.
No, don't say that too loud. I think he just joined.
Then he could tell by the tone of my voice I wasn't being serious. Good thing right there.
There you go.
We'll take a break. Be right back. Judd will join us right after this. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming, but what if I told you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you right on track. Or get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions. He'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today, 952-925-5608, and set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, LLC security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results, of course. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand. You're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
There it is. Getting Michael Bryant to laugh is not an easy task. Let me just say that. Let's take a second and talk about my bank. That, of course, be North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, turn to their experts. Because they're locally owned, they're locally operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. This helps business owners expand with confidence. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Judd joins us. Judd for the Defense, which I still love that TV show. You've never seen it, though, have you?
I've never seen it. No. In fact, what's weird is I haven't seen it like on, of all the choices now, right? Like you got Me TV and all this stuff.
Right.
I have never seen a rerun.
You got to see Judd for the Defense. It's good, man. It's about an attorney that kicks ass, helps the people.
Yeah, Carl Betts.
Carl Betts. Ooh, there you go. So you did some research.
Husband on the Donna Reed show, which was on Nickelodeon constantly when I was a kid. I love that show.
She was a pretty attractive woman. Let me just put it that way. Is that why you watched her every day?
She was, no, because she was the ideal mom. What do you mean?
Nice try.
Dressed perfectly.
That's true. True.
Always taking care of the house. I mean, come on.
You're absolutely right. We ran down a list of things that people say that make absolutely no sense, so you have to make sense for this entire segment.
I heard when I joined that I am brilliant, so this makes me feel really good about myself right now.
Well, who said that?
Well, you basically said 90% of the world is stupid, but then said I would be joining, and I was like Einstein, basically. So I was like, this is great.
I think it was AJ doing an impression of my voice is what that was.
Yes.
Well, first of all, you've never been sarcastic before, so there's no way that it's not true. Like, your belief that I'm a genius is absolutely great.
Well,
My wife and dog might disagree, but that's beside the point.
I think that was AJ that said you were a genius, or maybe it was Tevin. I'm not sure.
I was thinking it, but I didn't say it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, are there any sports to talk about that are any good?
Gopher men's basketball team played last night. Michigan State. They lost.
Of course they did.
They lost. So, no, the Wolves and Wild play tonight on the road. But I got nothing for you. Like, if you're trying to look for Minnesota sports positivity, I'm going to let you down.
Well, then we won't. We'll just stay away from sports then, because I was born and raised in Minnesota. Didn't live my whole life there, but most of it I did. So I'm used to getting my ass handed to me, or my my teams, I should say.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with avoiding the topic entirely today.
They have not. Well, one more question about sports.
Okay, all right.
Nothing set in stone yet about the Twins being sold.
No,
nothing yet.
Nothing
Bunch
yet.
Of suitors though. Bunch of suitors, right?
Yes, suitors, okay. But no word on one, like beyond the Ishbia brothers, one of whom owns the Phoenix Suns, who the Wolves actually played tonight. There's no word on names. There's just I think there's a hope it's going to be completed at some point in the summer.
Yeah,
like picked in the spring, and then but you
can
pick it in the spring, but then it's got to go through an approval process with the MLB owners and all that stuff. So hopefully the summer gets done.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice. And Pohlads won 2 World Series, but that was 35 years ago or whatever the hell it is now. Maybe more than that, come to think of it.
You know what's funny about that is look, he doesn't get a pass here because Carl definitely offered the team up for contraction. But, I think the Pohlads were most engaged when it was Carl and Eloise who loved the Twins.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I think his wife plays. I think we probably sell her short in like her importance because she always was at the games, and I think she might have been the most passionate baseball fan in the family.
Yep, that's probably right. I would agree with that. What's really kind of sad is that a couple of times I sat out in right field, sat there with Bob Pohlad and his son watching the games and all that stuff. Very, very nice guy and all the rest of it. But then when I guess I criticized the team too much, he wouldn't talk to me anymore. So, Bob, I miss you, man. I loved watching the games with you. I like you. You're a good guy. But I just can't sit back and watch a team be terrible. Can't do it.
They're selling now. It's done.
It is done.
Bygones can be bygones.
See, all right, Bob, give me a call today. 1-800-CAT, man. Just give me a buzz. That'd be good. No, I did. He was a very, very pleasant guy. He was very pleasant. I haven't talked to him now in probably 40 years, but
that's his loss.
Exactly. That's the way I look at the whole situation. I just whatever works for you.
Exactly.
I am still a sports fan. It's really hard in Minnesota to be a sports fan because they just don't win. Minnesota teams just do not win. I don't know what that is.
They do torture you. That's true.
They do. And they did before the Pohlads won the 2 World Series. And,
yep.
But you have to remember, when I grew up as a little boy, the Minneapolis Lakers were kicking everybody's ass. The University of Minnesota won the national championship when I was like 9 years old. Yep. I mean, sports when I was a little boy, when they really mattered to me, it was like Minnesota was the king of all sports. And then it just hit the wall. So then when they did come back and win 2 World Series, which I predicted before the season started they would win the 87 series, and nobody believed me. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big-time baseball fan. Don't watch as much as I used to, but I do love baseball. Baseball, football. Well, I like all sports. I really do. Used to hang out with a lot of professional hockey players. You can get in trouble hanging out with professional hockey players. Let me just point that out.
No, really?
Oh, it's hard to believe,
I can't believe that. Can they drink a lot?
They can drink a lot, and they also sometimes stand out in front of their house with no pants on, but, things like that.
Oh, Dino was going to get his paper. Come on. That's been...
He was going to get his
He was just going to get his paper with no pants on.
How did you know who I was talking about?
Do you remember how that was a celebrity case in this town?
It was. There's no question about that. It was a real problem. But I loved
Speaking of nice guys too, I talked to him 4 years ago. Just a great guy.
Yep, he is. All those guys back then were really, really good guys. I would throw a party at my house when I lived in Maple Grove, and all the hockey players would come, and Sid Hartman would come. My favorite of all time, though, Sid comes out. Dina was at the party. Several hockey players, Twins baseball. We're just having a ball. It was like a 5-acre little farm thing. Mm-hmm. So we're just having a ball and the rest of it. The only problem is Catherine's best friend went to go home. This was in the winter. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Where's my coat?" And I said, "What do you mean? It's in the closet." She goes, "No, it's not. My coat's gone. Where's my coat?"
Oh, no.
We discovered later on the coat was taken because he thought it was his by Mike Gelfand.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was like a play, like at least it was like Dino Cicerelli, and it's like,
it's Gelfand.
It was Gelfand. Oh my God, no.
But I have a question for you.
Oh.
Those were the days when men's buttons were on the right and the slots were on the left, and they would cross over. Yeah. And women's were the other way. It was the exact opposite.
That's right.
Why Mike didn't notice that, I really don't understand. But
it might have been he had a couple of pops.
Oh, Gelfand drinking? I've never seen Gelfand drink in my life. Never.
Really?
I got to believe that he probably wouldn't be a good drunk.
No, but I'm surprised just because back then at least guys that came from a newspaper background rarely passed up the opportunity to have a libation.
Well, well, we laugh about this all the time because there was a reporter that drank a lot, and every time he drank, he had his own column. All the rest, it was Jim Klobuchar. I'm sorry, but that's who it was.
Yeah.
And Jim would have a few drinks, and then he'd call and start bitching at me. I mean, it was like 2-3 times a week. Bernard, I heard what you said this morning. God damn it. And he was getting all upset. It's like, Jim, settle down.
Really?
Oh, Jim was a big booze hound. Big booze hound.
Kloby was so he was a columnist when I was a kid.
Sure.
But to go back before that, he covered the Vikings for years.
Yep, he did. He absolutely did. And I liked him a lot. Don't get me. He's a very, very smart man.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Good writer. No
Heck
question
of a columnist,
about it.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys when he was into it a couple, he liked to stir the pot.
He comes from a golden era in newspapers too, when like the city side columnists and guys like that were important, you know?
No question about it. Hey, look,
it's lost now.
One of the things I consider myself to be the most lucky about, getting on the radio and, getting a big show and all that stuff was people like Jim Klobuchar and Sid Hartman. And you go down the list of all these really, really, really good people. I liked them a lot. I thought the world of them. And just to have guys that I admired my whole life, even given a rat's ass who I was very important to me. It was really cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Makes
perfect sense.
But honest to God, during like the Twins season, or it doesn't matter. It's Jim calling. He's had a couple.
And that would be it.
Bernard, God damn it! How many times do I have to tell you? It's like, settle down, Jim. Just take it easy.
That's great. I didn't know that about you and Jim.
God, he would get pissed off at me. I loved the guy too. Like I said, I thought he's a great guy. I've never met Amy. You know what Amy does all the time, because she's pretty political and tends to lean one way pretty hard. But whenever she runs into somebody I know, she always says, "Tell Tom I said hello." She would never pick up the phone and call me because she's got that political deal going. But, Amy, I know what you're up to, sister. So hello to you, too. Let me just say that. And I do miss your father. I really miss him. He's a great guy. Yeah. Very smart guy.
Yeah, he was part of the panel quite frequently at TPT, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Almanac, as I recall.
Almanac, yeah. Oh, that was a good show, man. I used to love that show.
But I remember he was, it felt like he was on the panel quite a bit.
But I mean, knowing Sid Hartman, Jim Klobuchar, that was a golden era for me, man.
Oh yeah,
that was just wonderful.
That's the thing about it now that's hard to. It's hard for the generation now, definitely, to understand. I think too is like newspaper people like that were very important. Like now it's, okay, whatever. But back then, like columnists were a huge deal because the world didn't have a blog. They were the voice of your city, or they were the voice of the sports page. Now it's like, who cares? But back then it was a big deal.
It was, no question. Some of those meetings we had at the Lincoln Dell. Oh my! I used to meet Sid all the time over at the Lincoln Dell on what was then Highway 12. I guess. Oh yeah. Well, is it still Highway 12? Has it become 394 there?
394 there. Yeah. And it's the side streets now are, I think, officially Wayzata Boulevard.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But
there you go.
Yeah, but 12 itself, I think, is only way west now.
God, we would sit there and just have these magnificent conversations with, my favorite still was Gene from KISS and Sid and me having lunch at the Lincoln Dell. It's like, what the hell kind of mix is that?
Yeah.
And by that, I mean 2 Jews and me. Thank you very much. Great to be here. But anyway, those are great things in life, man. Just being able to sit there, have a sandwich with those 2 guys and just, is life ever going to be like, I guess maybe because not a lot of people leave their houses anymore because they can access everything right where they are. They don't get out as much as they used to.
Yeah. And that lunch with KISS, did he show up like face painted?
No, he did not. No. Gene Simmons did not.
Simmons just walks around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, KISS is hanging out.
Probably true. That's probably the situation. He just comes with his face all painted up. But
because I feel like that matters in the story. If it's like just full face paint, leather trench coat,
full outfit.
Yep.
God, what an era! What an era that was. But before we move on, I do want to point out how important it was to me to read columnists back in the day. Not so much anymore. They're okay now. But man, I learned so much just reading the columns in the Pioneer Press and the Star Tribune. It was unbelievable. Just absolutely wonderful.
Well, yeah.
So it should be.
Absolutely. Well, when you started at the Q, I mean, the papers were probably a lifeline at the time.
No question.
The importance of the papers, which I do miss because I still love a hard copy of a newspaper.
I do too. One of our neighbors still gets the daily newspaper, and what I noticed, caught her about 3-4 times doing it. Catherine would go in the hall and read the paper by standing over his newspaper. I was like,
wow.
Why don't we just get the paper, honey? It's not really that expensive. So
wow. So she's actually benefiting from the paper being delivered, at least the top half of it.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
I got to mention this to you guys because you're the great guys to mention it to. This will be really, really good because I went for a walk this morning. It was very, very nice. Just had a really nice time and, talking to some people. Just put me in a really great mood. And then, you get back and I sat down at my computer and I see that I got a message from President Trump that he had sent me a gift. And I didn't know what that was all about, but my address was on there. The whole thing was on it. Your gift will be there sometime today. I wanted you to know that. And blah, blah, blah. The gift he sent me was a hat. I haven't seen it yet, but I found out it was a hat. And I don't think you can call it a gift when I saw next to it my American Express card with $100 taken off it. They charged me $100 for a baseball cap with Donald Trump's name on it. Didn't even ask me if they could do it. What is wrong with politicians? Would you explain that to me? They're all horrible people, aren't they?
Judd, I'll let you take this one.
How did they get? Wait! I have so many questions. How did they get your American Express card?
That would be an interesting thing. Well, like I said, I've had lunch with him a few times, so maybe he just saw me pay the bill or something. I don't know. But that was 5 years ago, so maybe I should change my American Express.
I was going to say, I would find out. I'd get to the bottom of how they charged you in the first place. That would concern me.
I wish I should have printed that out and then held it up so you could see the whole thing. It's a baseball hat, just like this one.
Yeah.
This hat, I believe, cost me about $8.
Okay.
Not $100. And by the way, that's not a gift, Donald. That would be spending my money so you can pocket some of it. These politicians, I can't take politicians anymore. I just can't. Any of them. They all drive me nuts. Are there any centrist politicians left in the world? Used to be.
I'm not sure, but I sure as hell would not want a hat that I got charged for, and I don't know how they got my car. I'm very stuck on this.
I know. I'll have to figure out where it came.
Yep.
It had to be something I paid for one time, and I haven't spent a ton of time with him and these other people.
But they can't charge you for this unless you consent.
Yeah, this sounds like somebody like found your credit card laying on the street somewhere and was like, "Let me order this hat," and forgot to switch like the shipping address.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, you might be right about that. But this is why politicians. There are a couple of politicians I still think the world of. There's no question. They're good friends of mine, but most politicians I wouldn't even let near me anymore. They're just some of the worst people I've ever met. Isn't that sad?
That is too bad. But I mean, I have never in my life enjoyed politics. So
no, I haven't either, to tell you the truth. I tried. I don't like
really.
it.
I've never even tried. I find them to be non-palatable.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand.
There's two things that I don't like. I don't like politics, and I don't like religion in the sense that you can't move a person off their views.
Right. No, I understand.
So it's just no fun. Like, what's the fun?
Oh, in my neighborhood growing up, like I said, my neighborhood was black, Jewish, and Catholic.
Yeah.
And if you didn't pick the right religion between the Jewish and Catholic part, they wanted nothing to do with you. It was hilarious.
Believe me, I grew up Catholic, and I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Absolutely.
But
there was a guy in our neighborhood, I swear to God, a guy in our neighborhood would not let me walk on the public sidewalk in front of his house because I was Catholic. Go walk in the street. You got to walk in the gutter when you go by my house. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I got a little bigger, and then he stopped threatening me, and that worked out beautifully. Yeah, he made me walk in. He would not let me walk in the sidewalk because I was a Catholic kid.
Wow. So he actually found out like that. That's a next step right there. Finding out that you're Catholic.
Yeah,
apology to church.
Yeah.
He probably saw me going into the church was the problem. St. Joe. Maybe he's the one that tore the building because the building's not even there anymore. They tore it down. The church and the school, as a matter of fact. But what are you going to do? I just saw a couple of headlines popping up here, and some of them had some nice pictures. I'll mention this. We can't get deeply into it because I know you got to go. But the New York Magazine published a picture apparently today. This just popped up on my screen because I got the screen I watch you guys, and then I have one beneath that just for breaking deal. And I don't know. It must have been CNN going after somebody or something. Just I don't know. I haven't looked at the whole thing yet. But they said, nice celebration you really had, just a really great celebration. Why didn't you invite any black people? And then they showed the whole picture. There were black people at the party, but they cut them out of the picture. Wouldn't that be using Tevin's skin color to make money? Tevin doesn't get any of the money, but I do because I had a black guy with me. Or I cut you out for my own political purposes. Tevin, how do you put up with that?
I don't know. Like and this, I guess I don't know what are they cropping? It sounds like somebody threw a party.
Yeah.
Was it DJ Pearson?
Okay.
Said he hosted an event at New York Magazine, but they left him out of the story. So I don't. He's upset, I guess, that he got not mentioned, but I don't know.
But do you see the left side of the picture? Because apparently you look at the picture and there's blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the entire picture, on the left side, there are several black people in the picture, but they cut them out to try to make a political bullshit claim.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
So it looks like it's for the cover of the Cruel Kids table of the New York Magazine. And I'll say that the black people that were quote unquote cropped out don't look like they're not really doing anything. Like one's got his back turned. The other guy, he looks like he's suspicious of somebody for sure.
There you go.
As far as the aesthetic of the magazine cover,
yeah,
they got the right shot to make the magazine cover look filled and lively. It just so happens that the empty space next to this table where this black guy is giving some side eye, CJ came out, and I would assume that that's CJ.
But why would a certain political party claim there were no black people at the party? Because that's what they claimed. I just read that. Why? Stop using skin color to make your argument, would you please? Isn't that just disgusting?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they want to be inclusive, make a terrible looking or a worse looking magazine cover so you can get the 3 black guys in this picture in there. But I don't think there's any hidden agenda.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, why did they claim there were no black people at the party then? If there was no hidden agenda.
I mean, they just say looking at the cover that there's no black people, but then I don't know.
That's not what happened, though. Let go of the politics, man. Look at it. All right, Judd wants to get the hell out of here. I can tell by looking at him.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Judd. Judd, ladies and gentlemen, Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, taking care of business. We got to take a break and be right back. Chris Egert, maybe he's got the answer to the whole deal. That's a possibility, you know. South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. South Dakota ranks among the top 10 states for, this is the entire U.S., by the way, too, tax friendliness, hardest working, healthcare and doctors, most popular to move to, inbound state for movers. Spotlights on Sioux Falls. This is what I like to talk about. Listed in the 50 best places to live for families. 50 best places to live for families. That's wonderful. The fastest growing Midwest metro. One of the best places to raise a family. One of the best small cities for Gen Z workers. National 4th top inbound city people move to. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Visit www.siouxfallsdevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. What's up, Chrissy?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Well, now we got Sprinthal to put up with, too.
What's up, dog?
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm very good. I'm in a good mood, which is weird because it's January.
Well, it's like 50 out. How could you not? I mean, when it comes to the weather right now, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
There you have it. What's going on, Chris?
There's quite a deal that happened at a boys basketball game last night.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I'll be up front. We don't know a lot about this, but I'm assuming we're going to be learning more throughout the day. So last night at Robbinsdale, it was Robbinsdale Cooper was playing Fridley, their boys basketball game, varsity boys basketball game.
Right.
A group of 5 or 6 people walked into the game, went over to a dude sitting on the Fridley bench and beat him with like a piece of pipe or crowbar or some type of deal in the middle of a gym of people, which is insane to me.
Is there any reason they gave for doing this?
They don't know. They're saying that the attackers are not students, for what it's worth.
You know, age-wise, like, are they students of a different school or just
it just says adults? 3 adult men and 2 juvenile males were arrested.
God, 3 adults.
They say it was not random, which does that seems like that tracks, because you don't just walk into a basketball game knowing that somebody's going to be sitting there on the bench and take them out.
So it was a player that they attacked. Is that right?
Yeah, but he was on the bench. So,
God.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
I don't get it, man. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And every year it gets worse. Why?
There was a school resource officer there, apparently. And they put the gym on lockdown and they were able to arrest the people. But I don't know. I spent a lot of time at basketball games, and it's insane to me to like think that a group of 5 or 6 dudes could walk in like right in front of everybody, walk up right to the bench and just crazy.
Do they know how badly the player was hurt?
I don't know. It happened last night, and we confirmed it late. And there hasn't been. I'm really surprised there's no video floating around. If the gym was on lockdown, and what I don't know is how competitive these 2 teams are with each other, and like if there would have been a lot of people there, or if there weren't that many people there, So I don't know that. That's stuff that I'm hoping is going to get worked out today, but I just thought it was crazy.
Well, it is crazy. Is there any video of it? Because a lot of times somebody's videoing those games.
That's also what I would have expected. Apparently there was some kind of a feed, but it got stopped.
Oh, sure it did. Sure it did. That couldn't have been rewound and then stopped.
Well, and those things are all under a pay. A lot of those games are streamed under a paywall, or there's like a third-party service that does that anyway. But anyway, I don't know. That just kind of a wacky thing that happened.
But no reason for it so far? Why they did it?
Nope.
So 6 guys attacked 1 guy, and they had or 5 or 6 guys. Is that right?
Yeah, it sounds like maybe 6 went in, 5 got arrested. That number's been a little squishy this morning, but
I have never hit anyone with a pipe. Maybe today, though.
Yeah, specifically if they're only playing a basketball game and sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
So I went to Fridley, and I had people, like, I have a buddy who used to coach basketball at Fridley. He no longer coaches there, but I just texted him.
Yeah.
And so I want to preface that this is all, I'm going to say, alleged information that he sent me. He sent me.
Okay.
I said, "Hey, Johnny, did one of your players get attacked last night?" He goes, "I'm not coaching at Fridley anymore, but unfortunately, yes, rival Somali gang." He sent me a screenshot of a text conversation. The video was from the school recording was posted. Not sure how it got posted. It was a group of Somali kids that came to attack a Somali kid on the Fridley team. They had a wheel wrench and a 10 or 12-inch knife, another one, and his hand in his pocket the whole time like he had a gun. They hit. I'm going to leave the player's name out. With the car wheel wrench on his head, and he was bleeding, but no one was killed.
Jesus,
I know that. So
Chris, sounds like you got a source for your story.
Right, breaking news.
AJ, will you text me that stuff? I'll preface it the same way you did.
God.
Perfect, thank you.
I don't know, man. Where are we headed in this world? I have never, look, I grew up in the worst neighborhood in the state of Minnesota. I never saw that happen. I will be honest with you. Never happened.
That's some hardcore stuff right there.
It certainly is.
AJ is a journalist, a sophisticated breaking news.
AJ's got sources. He knows. That's his place. You know your place. You know how to reach out. That's good.
You know, we got to know the buttons to push, everybody. Yeah.
I appreciate
that.
Well,
I do have a question for you, AJ.
Yeah, fire away.
What's going to happen with the city slogan?
Yeah, well, hey, keep in mind this happened in Robbinsdale Cooper, not Fridley.
Yeah, they kept it out of Fridley.
Once you cross that city perimeter, everybody becomes happier.
Yes.
And
Fridley's still friendly.
Yeah.
Now, some of the
this game was at Fridley High School. This would have been a completely different story.
Yep.
And we don't know where the attackers are from either, so they might not be from Fridley.
It's absolutely true. No question about it.
Well, you guys are on top of that one. I got to roll.
All right, you pill.
Doug, I'll send you a text later.
Excellent. I'll be standing by, sir.
Please.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Honest to God, when are we going to wake up and understand?
Well, you know what? We all want new immigrants to assimilate to our culture, and so they get here and they watch some mafia videos and start attacking guys with pipes.
What movie was it? And I can't say the whole word or the whole line because it was really nasty at the beginning. I can't remember the movie. I think it might have been a Monty Python thing, but I'm not sure. We'll take this guy and that guy, but we don't want the Irish.
That's from Blazing Saddles.
Oh, it's Blazing Saddles. That's what it is. You're absolutely right. I love that line so much. But not the first two words that they used, but you know. But there's an exact example of where we're headed as a society because people just will not pay attention. That you're going to have security everywhere now. Everywhere. Isn't that sad?
Well, and there aren't, every police department in America is looking to hire officers. There's a huge shortage. So, and I hate to bring up school shootings, but they're fairly common. And one of the common things you hear is, well, we just need to hire some people. Who is going to do it? We don't have, there's 20, 30,000 schools in the U.S. probably. We have an extra 100,000 people that want to walk in the halls with eighth graders. And anyway, I don't know. But you're right. I think we are becoming more violent, and it's a problem maybe without a solution.
It's very, very sad. Unbelievable. We do have to take a break. Right back. A little more news with Tevin and AJ and Doug Sprinthal right after this.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For Brad, John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it, they take advantage?
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing, and people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Or the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant.
This is Brett Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley. We've always had a professional sales staff on our show floors, but recently have added a few more to the arsenal. Neil Hadding was a salesperson at Valley for over 2 decades, probably the best truck guy around. He left for a manager position elsewhere, but decided to kick back and return to work with thousands of his old friends and customers. It's a similar story with Tim Condon. He spent many years in the sales and finance at Valley before spending time in Alaska, to the relief of many, many friends and customers who returned a few years back. Not a returnee, but a welcome addition to our seasoned staff is Charlie Fink. Charlie followed Neil to Apple Valley to head up the finance department. He is well known to many Twin City car customers after being in the business for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a familiar face or just the face of experience, visit one of these professionals at Jim Paul's Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or at valleycardealers.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Okay, we're in pretty good shape because I just looked up at the screen and Tevin and AJ did not attack Doug with a pipe, so that's good.
No.
We have people on their way.
That's right. We're going to do it in the parking lot where there aren't any cameras.
Did you ever think the world would get this over the top? That is, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because I don't know the particulars of it, but I have never attacked anyone with a pipe. Got to be honest with you. Never happened.
And sadly, as far as school attacks go, this seems like almost a best case scenario because we're used to seeing school shootings and disasters.
True. Yeah.
And it's thankfully this kid did not die and it was just a pipe attack.
I think that right there, though, says more than enough about the current climate of our nation where a student playing a basketball game, not even he was on the bench, but he was
probably just got off the court.
Exactly.
He's a star.
But he got attacked by 5 people, 5 strangers. Jesus. And that's it could have been worse.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
To
say.
If that was in my playing days, it would have been a little different. I played for Marshall U in Dinkytown. Oddly enough, other than a couple of us, most of our star players were recruited from the north side.
Baby.
Ed Brahofsky was our coach who went on to be an assistant with the Wolves. And
who was? What's his name?
Ed Brahofsky.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go.
He was a tough coach. Oh, my God, the stuff he did to us. But anyway, not bad stuff, not pedophile stuff, just
Jesus.
The terrible story.
Good God, a little over the top.
My point is my fellow teammates would not have stood idly by.
No, that's true.
It would have been a totally different thing and possibly worse.
Did they not have security at, because, when I was a kid, they did have security at all the stuff, even way back then. Do they not have security at these games anymore?
I would say it's usually one police officer.
Or is it? Okay.
And his biggest thing is making sure that, the high school kid didn't try to sneak in a bottle of Tito's.
Yeah.
During the game. But I don't think they're equipped to necessarily handle an all-out assault.
And don't they usually look like the guy from The Simpsons, the police chief?
Yeah, I don't want to disparage, the fine officers that are out there protecting the schools, but usually it's not the most fit guy that's going to run down and be a superhero. But
can I talk about my basketball experience for a second here?
Sure.
Eighth grade at St. Anne's. Remember? First of all, I was the backup center on the team just because I was so big, but Jim Brown was 3 inches taller than me. He was a damn good basketball player, but won the Twin Cities title, the Catholic school Twin Cities title, and at the game.
Wait. Let me get this straight. So he was the best basketball player in the Catholic leagues?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's nothing to brag about. Is that what you're saying?
I was just trying to clarify the story, just for me.
And it wasn't the James Brown that put all those great hits. It was a different James Brown. So I just wanted you to know that. But I want you to know that the nuns and the priests and even the Archbishop was at the presentation because we won the Twin Cities title. I shouldn't say we because I got in the game for about a tick.
That counts.
No,
that counts. That definitely counts.
So it definitely counts. Just getting in the game.
Yep.
Yes.
But my whole job was to brutalize the other guy. I mean, not brutalize him, but hang on him all the time because I was so big as a kid. By the time I was 11, I was 6'1" and weighed 220.
Yeah.
That's a big kid for an 11-year-old kid.
Sure is.
But Jim Brown was still taller than me. But they're giving away the awards at the end, and as the coach went down the line, Jim Brown, you're one great center. You, I have to say, carried this team on your back. Bob Tyson. Remember the old Bob, the Tyson Food Markets? That was Bob Tyson. That was his family. Bob, great guard, bringing that ball down the court, going on. Guy Laurent, one of the best forwards I've ever seen in my entire life. Tom Barnard, Jesus Christ. Right in front of the Archbishop, he sat. Because my whole job was to hang on other people and make them tired. I don't think I ever put a shot up. It was just, that was my whole job.
That was kind of I was the sixth guy, so I didn't start.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my job because our team I was the tallest guy on the team. Everybody was short and really fast. So I got to duty, I had to guard Randy Brewer once.
Oh, God.
And I was in high school, I was 6'3" and probably 155 or so. And even back then, Randy was pushing 7 feet tall. I mean, what do you do? I kneecapped him.
There you go. Why not? Why didn't you kneecap him?
Well, he seemed like a nice guy. He was just tall.
Yeah, but I feel like every high school basketball team has that guy that's similar to you, Tom, where you're in there to rough up the other team. Like my high school team, we had one of our offensive linemen from the football team wanted to play basketball, and so that was his thing. He would just go in there, and he's sending guys into the first row of the
Well, and that's classic NHL, right?
Yeah.
You got the enforcer. It's scored 2 goals in the entire season by accident.
By accident, no question. We have to take a break. Got a great guest coming up right after this.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, it's free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand. You're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Are we ready to go with our guest?
Not quite. I'm still waiting on that call.
Okay, no problem.
But I will give you a heads up as soon as we get Yeardley Smith on the line.
Is it Yeardley or Yardley?
You know what? That's a great question, because now
I grew up with
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was saying it Yeardley, so...
Yeah, I grew up with a girl with the same name, but she pronounced her name Yardley.
Well, I'll check before we get her on.
Good. Now that you're sure, is that willed?
Yes, I know. Hopefully, we're gonna wield this call to come through here any second, but I'm not.
Magnificent. Just let me know. This ought to be a very, very interesting interview because we're talking about, prepare to dive into the complex world of criminal minds. These experts explore questions such as how do MOs evolve, methods of operation. That's what that means. Evolve over a criminal's career. How do offenders choose their victims? What drives an offender to repeat crimes? These are all great questions, man.
I'm excited to hear about this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to having, and we'll find out if she pronounces it Yeardley or Yardley. We'll find out. That's all I have to say. So what else is happening in the world? Anything good?
Doug?
I'm just looking. We're talking about Lisa from The Simpsons, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she was doing something else. I Googled her to see if we could figure out how to pronounce her name. Now, is it Smythe or Smith?
Oh my gosh.
No, now we get Yeardley Smythe or Yardley Smith. It's one or the other. Although and our special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen, morning show host Tom Barnard. Really? Tom Barnard?
Well, let's see. Remember the famous actor you introduced as Al Pacing?
Al Pacing.
Uh-oh.
Al Pacino.
I did not. I did. Oh, no. I told that story. I told a story, but I'm not the one who said Al Pacing.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No, I told the story. He said Al Pacing. Oh. But where do you get the pacing? Because there's an O at the end of it. That's what I always wonder.
No, it'd be totally misspell it. And I suppose if you don't know who the guest is.
Had him on as a guest. He was a terrific guest, as a matter of fact. Not a big talker, but he's a very pleasant guy, I will tell you that. He wasn't in studio. He was on the phone.
He doesn't do many interviews, does he?
No, God, no.
Not anymore now, I think.
Yeah.
Probably none anymore, something like that. But the clock's a ticking there, Yardley.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we only got a couple more minutes, unfortunately. We have to move her to another time or another space. Although, in her position, I would say that the woman, KB1 or KB2, she's KB2, I guess. She's the one that made it up in the first place because of Catherine Brandt and Kristen Burt, and there were all kinds of them. But she is so good at being flexible. Sometimes she gets on at 20 after, sometimes she gets on at 30, sometimes it's 35. It's like depending who's schmoozing at what particular time. But what are you going to do? So this woman did the voice of Lisa Simpson?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Doesn't even say that on here, I don't think.
Well, yeah, because she's like, I think that's just one of her credits, but she's promoting like her show as or whatever as a detective.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd still mention Lisa. I love The Simpsons, for Christ's sake. Is there a better show than The Simpsons?
How long have they been going on for now? I feel like it's 30? Been. Yeah, right? It's probably been a while.
Yeah, I think it was 89 or 90. So it started out as a segment in the Tracy Ullman show.
Right. Yeah.
December 17th, 1989 was the first episode.
Jesus, so 36 years.
I mean, how do you keep it fresh for that long? That's crazy.
That is amazing. Right? I would love to be in the writer's room of SNL or Family Guy or The Simpsons just to watch how they do that. I think it'd be fascinating.
You know, if Yeardley doesn't show up, this might be the first time we have ever gotten KB2 on time. I don't think she's ever come on time at right 20 after.
It's tracking that way.
Yeah, I think there was one time where she came in on time and she was like scrambling to find her headphones and like fix her hair. Yeah,
straighten the wig.
Yep. Yeah.
Can I tell my favorite Lisa Simpson line?
I love
all
Lisa
the Simpsons episodes.
Love it.
It's Gay Pride Day in Springfield, and she's in the front yard watching the parade go by, and all the dudes are going, "We're here, we're queer, get used to it." And she goes, "We are used to it. You do this every year."
See, now that's brilliant, right?
It's really funny.
That was such a great show. I haven't watched it on. It's still on, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think they still do new episodes. Yeah.
God, I got to get back to it because I loved watching that show. I mean, let's be honest. Homer is a lot of friends' dads. There's no question. I knew a lot of guys that had a dad just like Homer Simpson. I'm here to tell you. That's why I love that show. That show hit immediately. And again, it was because of her. Why didn't that show ever work out? I thought it'd be a bigger hit than it was.
What, Tracy Ullman?
Tracy Ullman, yeah.
I don't know. She came back a year or two ago and tried it again. And I don't know, Tevin and AJ, if you know she is. She's an incredibly talented English comedian and actor.
Yeah.
And impersonates, has all these characters and impersonates all kinds of people. She can sing, she can dance. She's kind of a triple threat, and she's a really good writer too. But just never quite got up to the apex. So if you get a chance, watch the old Tracy Ullman show, a couple episodes. She's really funny.
Well, unfortunately, we lost our time. We've gone 7 minutes without Yeardley. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to assume she probably got held up or something.
Damn,
what are you going to do? She's probably arresting somebody.
Probably hanging out with Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Bleeding Gums Murphy. That was one of my favorites too, baby. No question about it. This is interesting. Have you guys seen? I have not seen the story. Will Ferrell has shocking reaction to horrible animatronic Buddy the Elf.
Oh,
you guys, really? You know about this, Tevin?
I've seen the photo. I don't know, AJ, if you're able to find it and throw it up, but he has every right to be shocked and offended.
Well, it's interesting because the story I just clicked on does not have the picture. What the hell? Why not? Here, let me click on that word. Oh, now I see the picture. I did find the picture. It's not a compliment. Let me put it that way. Not a compliment in any way, shape, or form. First of all, it makes him look like he's about 500-600 pounds, but other than that, kind of a chub. You know what? He's an interesting guy, Will Ferrell, because is he a great actor? No, but he's really good at what he does, don't you think?
I saw him actually act in a serious show. It was about a alcoholic salesman who gets kicked out of his marriage by his wife. I can't remember the title, but it was serious, and he was surprisingly good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of enjoyed him. He plays well. First of all, the movie, it's just called The Elf, isn't it? That one movie he did.
I think it's just called Elf.
I think it's
or just Elf. Just Elf. Yeah, there you go. But he was terrific in that movie. And then I found out he's worth like $160 million. That pissed me off. He's got a lot of money, man. He did very, very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there was like the mid 2000s. It felt like every year he was putting out some sort of, whether it was Step Brothers or Elf or, whatever, the list goes on.
Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro was another one. Yep.
Yeah.
No, he's no Adam Sandler.
You know that Adam Sandler is a billionaire now?
Is he?
What?
He's a billionaire. Look it up. I just saw it.
Scuba Steve's worth $1 billion.
That is not too bad for a kid from New Hampshire. Oh. I mean, think about that.
He's from New Hampshire? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from New Hampshire originally. Yeah, as a matter of fact.
I love Adam Sandler because of how he makes his movies. Like he just one day will be like, I want to make a movie, and he calls up all his friends, and they go out to some like Hawaii to film just some random movie. And so like he takes care of the people that kind of came up with him.
That's cool.
He does. You're absolutely right about that. I guess I have talked to many people. I only talked to him a couple of times when I was on the queue. Doesn't do great interviews because you can tell he doesn't want to do them. Like they make him do some interviews and he doesn't want to do interviews. So, he's got but he, what a talent, honest to God.
I think he's only done one interview that I think would be worth watching. And that's the one with Brad Blanks. I agree.
Where he freaks out.
Oh, yes.
He must've been on gummies. Oh my God, it's a giant. Ah!
Why don't you? What is he? Why don't you take your hat and get out of here? Because calls the top of the the top of the Havana. Take your hat and get out of here. That was pretty good. But I've talked to a number of guys, like Nick Swardson, just loves the guy, loves working with him. So that's good news. But yeah, he's a billionaire. He now has made $1 billion doing what he does. That's amazing. Don't you think?
I'm speechless.
I think his films, from what I saw here, his films have grossed over $2 billion.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I respect him because I think he could have always just gone on the crutch of being the Happy Gilmore or the Mr. D or whatever. But he's tried to also get into the, I guess, maybe like more serious acting realm too. Uncut Gems,
fantastic,
was a great movie, and then that basketball movie that was a Netflix exclusive. I think it's called Hustle, where he plays a little more of a serious guy in that, with some comedic lines, but for the most part, it's not like a comedy, I would say. So he's tried to like branch out from especially his SNL days, where it's just only like singing Sloppy Joe and the Hanukkah song. So
yeah, I got to be honest, I didn't really care for him on Saturday Night Live, and maybe that's the way they cast him or the things they had him do. Maybe I just didn't like the bits, and you tend to blame it on the guy doing the bit instead of the guy who wrote the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times he did that kind of over the top,
exaggerated
thing, which kind of got old, but he's always down to hoop at a Lifetime Fitness near you. So I've always loved those videos of him just playing basketball with that average everyday person.
He is proof that people with a lot of money don't always have the best fashion. And I respect that.
Yes, that's true.
He just looks like he rolled up to like Savers or Goodwill, grabbed what was on the rack that fit, and walked out.
Love it. No question. We are going to take a break and be right. This may be the first time in 15 or 16 years that Kristen Burt is going to get on right on time. I don't think it's ever happened before.
It's going to be amazing. She's not going to know what to do.
Or should we just hold it up just to piss her off?
Just sit here in silence for like 10
do
minutes.
the slow talkers in America.
And
now,
what else happened?
Reporting from Hollywood.
We shall take a break, and I think Kristen Burt will be ready. And if she's not ready to go, we can ease in. So that'll work out just fine. We'll be right back.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch, and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time for Bradshaw and Bryant. At this time of year, something that we might not think about, slipping and falling on ice when you're out, or worse, someone slipping and falling on your property. Property owners are legally responsible for maintaining a safe environment for visitors. You can post a caution sign or de-ice the area. Failing to do either and somebody getting injured because of your lack of safety precaution can be considered negligent. If someone does slip and fall and suffers an injury, they have a certain amount of time to file a claim, or you lose your right to collect any damages for your injury. If this happens to you, contact an experienced attorney right away. It's free to meet to go over your case. Contact Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I hope this never happens to you, but if it does, Mike Bryant is the one I recommend to all my friends and listeners.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app, at TomBernardShow.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.
God, this is the first time in, 16 years, I think, that you've ever been brought on time.
I haven't known you 16 years.
I thought it was. I thought you just, or was it 14?
I think it's 13 now. I think 2012. Okay. Yeah, was the year that I came on board. So.
All right, so 13 years to finally get her on time. I don't know how it happened. We usually fall apart, but not today. So that's
I'm always ready.
Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Yeah, is it Yeardley Smith or Yeardley Smith?
Yeardley Smith.
I couldn't tell by what you just said.
Yeardley Smith.
Yardley.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so, but I didn't know for sure. But yeah, she did not show up. She was telling somebody to go F themselves in Homer Simpson's voice or something, I guess.
You got ghosted?
We got ghosted. You know, I don't care. Whatever. Hey, you're the one trying to sell.
That's why you're on time, because you got ghosted.
Yeah, so if you see her out there in Hollywood, Kristen, you tell her.
I'll get her.
She'll never work in this town again.
Oh, never. I'm so worried about their career.
I remember that did happen on the Q one time, and I don't say who the producer was, but you would know them. But no matter if it's a man or a woman, if somebody ghosted like that, he'd always go, bitch. Like that, right? Only apparently she was on the line and it was a woman, so she thought he was calling her a bitch.
Was that last time? Come on, he's not.
Maybe.
It sounds like
maybe.
John.
It might have been, but I'm not saying for sure. So, Kristen, what is the latest?
Very expensive Super Bowl commercials. I don't know if you saw the latest this morning, but they now have surge pricing for the Super Bowl. So they were initially selling them for about $7 million a spot last fall. Fox was like, we sold out, nothing left. LA wildfires happen, and people like State Farm are like, probably not a good idea for an insurance company that has been in crisis here in California to spend money on a Super Bowl commercial. So State Farm, along with several others, dropped out in the wake of the wildfires, leading to a sale of saying like, hey, you want in on the Super Bowl? You're on the waiting list. If you want in on this at the last minute, it's now $8 million. And people rush to do it, which is unbelievable. So, I mean, all eyeballs are on the Super Bowl every single year. It's a global event. And people are finding that things like the Oscars and the Super Bowl are, even though people are like, oh, I don't watch that anymore. No, they're still relevant in terms of generating the type of audience that you want.
Yeah, I cannot tell you the last time I watched the Oscars. When I was a kid, I loved it. It's, look at all these movie stars. And, oh, my goodness. I haven't watched it in years now.
But that's not what the trend is. The trend is on the rise for award shows. So
hear,
it's still never going to generate like the 100 billion that it used to back in the day. But ratings wise, it is doing better. The other thing we'll see at the Super Bowl in terms of trends, which I think is interesting, less movie trailers, less streaming network commercials, because Hollywood has experienced kind of a downturn in the economy. We're going to see more when it comes to AI. Everyone's going to be promoting their AI, like chat GPTs or the AI programs, no matter what. It might be Google, it might be Microsoft, it might be some other companies coming in, but that's going to be the big thing. And if you remember, just a few years ago, it was all about crypto. You could not get enough crypto. So it's just the trend this year, but that's where it's going. Which I think is kind of fascinating. But the days of like getting to see like the next big trailer kind of dwindling right now. It might have a resurgence at some point, but we'll see.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, that's all right.
I was just going to ask, do they charge differently for different parts of the game? In other words, are halftime commercials more expensive than, I get to think at the end of the fourth quarter, if it's a blowout, nobody's watching.
That is cheaper. Well, they're pre-sold. So the thing is, anything during the game was $7 million to begin with. And then 10 spots became available at the last minute, and that they were $8 million. I think that the rates that you're going to see are less are for the pregame show and the postgame show. But anything within the parameters of Super Bowl, that's going to be that $7 or $8 million that companies paid.
God, that is amazing. $7 or $8 million. And I was just trying to think while you guys were talking why I did stop watching, because I used to love to watch them, when the Al Pacinos of the world would win and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not avoiding it because of who the actor. I just don't watch it anymore. I don't know why that is. I just stopped watching. I used to love it.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun for us here in Los Angeles because it's a whole citywide event that people take part in. But I do think that everything's different because of social media. I think we've seen a downturn in so many different things, even the interest in celebrity culture in general because of social media. A lot of celebrities are very accessible. It's not that era where you would wait by your mailbox for People magazine to arrive so that you could see like the latest stories and read all about this magical place called Hollywood. You and I can all, I'm here, but anyone who lives anywhere else in the country can access what Hollywood is just by opening up an app and taking a look. There's going to be photos of it. There's going to be celebrities talking. So sort of the mystique behind what celebrity is has drastically changed. And influencers have kind of taken over where celebrities once were.
It's interesting because when I was a kid, those celebrities were a very, very big deal, man. Now people are not as much into celebrities as they used to be, I don't think.
No, and it's why, remember back in the day when it was like horrific if a big movie star chose to do a commercial?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was embarrassing. That means your career is on the downslide. Like it is quickly going downhill. The only thing that they might do is they would sneak a commercial in Japan because we would never see it because the internet didn't exist. So Harrison Ford was famous for like flying over there, making $1 million. Now he would probably make $10 million to do that commercial. And, coming home and we would never see his, I think he had some type of alcohol ad. Now, of course, we would see it and it's no big deal. They do US commercials and everything else. But that has changed tremendously too.
Unfortunately, because I was making a wonderful living doing voiceover commercials. And then as soon as a celebrity said they do them, that was the end of Tommy.
Well, and I just talked about, we talked about when Harry Met Sally. I said, oh, they're doing a reunion with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That commercial has come out. You can see it today. So we don't even have to wait for the Super Bowl. It's for Hellman's Mayonnaise. And there is a third celebrity in there, totally unrelated to the movie, but someone who is somewhat buzzworthy in terms of movies. So I won't spoil it. I'll let you guys go and check it out.
I love so much about that. You want to look, you can look it up?
Yeah.
Oh, it's much young as a kid? Like that young?
No, I would say 20s. We've talked a lot about this celebrity a lot on this particular
My guess
show.
would be Timmy Chalamet.
Right age group, wrong gender.
Oh. Okay.
So who?
Billie Eilish?
No, I would actress.
Okay.
And probably
Zendaya.
Less acting talent than Zendaya.
That's nice.
But her films do well, and Zendaya does know this particular person very well because they went. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is it?
It's Sydney
Sweeney.
Sweeney. And that is so accurate because yes,
she's known for some other things.
She's
that aren't necessarily related to.
She's got big boobs.
Yeah,
she's not an elite actor. Elite acting skill, I would say. But.
She flaunts them. Like if you follow her Instagram page, she's going to give you a great bikini shot.
And this is going to help sell mayonnaise.
Yeah,
because was it a month ago the Mayo Bowl?
Yeah,
when the guy threw up on the air.
Jesus.
First of all, I hate mayo, so I am not the person.
So they made this guy eat what? Cookies with mayonnaise on them?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, like because it was the Duke's Mayo Bowl that the Gophers were playing.
Yeah.
So they made the announcer eat a bunch of mayo, and he
hurled right on air, right into.
I would too. I am not the consumer to try and market mayo to because I can't even look at it on a table. And in the commercial, they do like the squeeze bottle and they put on like a huge, thick like squeeze of mayo, and I was like, ugh.
But and the fake mayonnaise is even worse, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever they use for the food styling, it's probably. Ugh. Yeah, I know. Because under hot lights, mayo would probably sort of melt the oil would separate. Yeah. Food styling is very fascinating because whatever you're seeing in the commercials is never what it really is.
So Miracle Whip is a mayo substitute, right? It's not really mayonnaise, correct?
Yeah, I think they call it a salad dressing, but it's not like a salad dressing like you would pour out of a bottle. But
yeah, it is to mayonnaise what margarine is to butter.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, I'm not I use butter once in a while, but very rarely. I like it, but I just don't use it that much. And mayonnaise, I'm shoulder to shoulder with KB too, because I don't like the flavor of it.
I can't even talk about it that much.
An inch of it on their sandwich. I'm not kidding you.
Salad sandwich oozing with mayonnaise because I don't like eggs either. So the combo of the two, if someone sits down next to me with that, I'm like, don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Yeah, did you ever think you'd see a dozen eggs being $15?
What?
$15. Yep. $13 to $15 for a dozen eggs now. Isn't
Where?
that everywhere?
Well,
you can look it up.
I went to Aldi on Sunday and they were $7 for a dozen.
Oh, that's good. I like Aldi too.
Yeah, they were $7. I think Costco's selling them for much less too.
Oh, okay. So like the second-hand eggs, is that what that's all
Well,
about?
Costco, you're going to wind up with 24 eggs, so you're not going to get a dozen. So if you have a big family, that's great, but we don't really eat eggs. I mean, honestly, if you're making cakes, it's time to crank out the applesauce and the yogurt and all the things that you can make a cake with. Coca-Cola, Sprite.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love the most about elections, and it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican getting elected. As soon as a new president is taken, both parties, people start hopping online, bitching about how the price of everything went up. Way to go, voters. It's like, would you settle? Yeah, it's because a new president was elected 10 years ago.
It's because of the bird flu, but we should be, I mean, unfortunately, I think the one issue I would say, the bird flu is a big issue. And right now we have like the CDC not communicating with the public because they're on a pause, whatever that means, or a freeze. So you should be at least paying attention to what's happening if you have pets, because a lot of the raw food is an issue.
Is it just like an America thing? Because I saw Canada, their eggs are like $4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know what we're doing differently.
They've had problems in other countries with bird flu. It's not unusual.
Yeah.
So that's
I think
what
Mexico's going through bird flu, avian flu right now as well.
Yeah. I just think it hasn't reached Canada maybe as widely as it has in Mexico and the US. And that's probably the issue.
We see a lot of it locally. This sounds like Cliff Clavin, but Minnesota's the largest turkey producer in the country. So there's a lot of farms that are producing chickens and turkeys and stuff. And it's tough.
And anyone feeding your pets a raw food diet with, say, turkey, chicken, be very careful.
Well, that's terrible.
I know. For cats especially, it is deadly.
Oh, it is. We don't have it. We had cats forever, but we don't have a cat now, and I don't know why we didn't get enough. I suppose maybe because we travel too much. Dogs are okay, but cats not to travel with, not great.
You can, if you treat when they're young, if you like train them to travel,
train them in,
yeah, you can travel with your cat.
Yeah, I could see that.
Get Jude a little buddy, a little tiny kitten.
Jude, I'm his buddy. Every morning he has to walk in and say hello to me, and then he goes out the door and then tries to push it shut. It's like, thanks. I really appreciate it. No question about it. Anything good on TV coming up? Let's say it's Wednesday. So anything good coming up this weekend on television?
I have given you a million shows, and I'm betting that you haven't watched a single one.
Well, I've
Paradise,
been a little busy.
The Pit. Well, then why are you asking about new shows?
Because the weekend's coming up. Pay attention.
Write this down. Write this down, because you'll have your little list when you and Catherine sit on the couch at 7 p.m. and go, what are we going to watch tonight? Ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Paradise with Sterling K. Brown. That is on Hulu.
Okay.
Doc, which is on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably has 4 or 5 episodes out already. The Pit on Max with Noah Wyle. That's 3 so far.
That's 3. Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah. And all of them, you're looking at multiple episodes. You can dive right in. You're not going to have to wait until next week. They're all out. I will also say that yesterday I interviewed Shanola Hampton, and she is on NBC's show Found. Has anyone watched Found?
No.
Sounds
Really good. Okay, so they're in season 2. Co-stars Mark Paul Gosselaar, and it is at face value, it looks like a regular old procedural of someone who like goes in and rescues people who have been missing for a long time, but that doesn't get that kind of same attention that like the cute blonde kid does. So she goes out and rescues people who've been missing a long time, and the media is not interested in the case. But she herself had been kidnapped as a kid, and she has kept her kidnapper in her basement.
Jesus.
Yes. And it's this really suspenseful cat and mouse game. It's unbelievable. And it's 2 seasons in so far. Really good acting. Shanola Hampton, a lot of people will know her as V or Veronica from Shameless. She was there all 11 seasons. She's an absolute delight. She's really funny in real life, but this is a very dramatic role, completely different from what she did on Shameless.
See, that sounds wonderful. I tell you what, television has never been better. Although when you go back a few years, like Catherine and I started from episode 1 of Criminal Minds, that show was brilliantly written. My God, great acting, great writing. the input. So, I mean, there has been great television, but don't you think television might be the best it's ever been right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Let me see your list, Tom. Let me see that list written down.
Okay, I'll write down the list and I'll give it back to you. I don't ever
write
write
it down. I know he did. And then at 7 p.m. tonight, he's going to be like, what should I be watching?
Here's what
right
I have
now?
written down right here. You want to see what I've written down?
Go to hell.
Kristen Bird, entertainment news. That's what's written on a piece of paper.
Paradise, The Pit, Doc, Found. I'm giving you 4 great shows.
Works
all
for me.
easy to remember. So tomorrow or a Friday, when you ask me what you should watch, I'd be like, which one of those 4 have you watched?
Yeah, Paradise is good.
Just mess with them. Tom, new one out called Dobie Gillis. You're going to love it. And then there's
Gillis.
Castaways on Gilligan's
I'd like to
Island.
point some out for you. I don't sit around on my ass all day like the 4 of you do. I work all day, so I don't have the time to do the things that you can do, okay? You pills. Yeah, there you go. That's nice finger work.
And for anyone who hasn't,
work for you.
Wait. Are you going to crank it up for us?
No, that wasn't my violin solo. Yeah. Anyway.
For anyone who hasn't gotten enough of the OJ case, there's still more stories left to be told, believe it or not. Netflix has a new docuseries that's out today called American Manhunt, OJ Simpson. And it goes and looks into the witnesses for the trial that wound up not going on the stand. People who saw him that night and why they weren't used. A lot of people sold out to things like Hard Copy back in the day, those tabloid journalism shows that were out during that era, because they were getting paid to talk, and how that compromised the case. And other people were like, I think, Marcia Clark just forgot about me. I don't know why my testimony wasn't used. So if you're looking for a new, fresh angle on the OJ case, I feel like we've lived it 18 times over. Netflix has that for you as well today.
How long has he been dead now?
A few months? 4 months?
Just a few months, just about 4 or 5 months. Yeah, it was pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last year, if I'm correct.
Because he was not very old when he died, was he?
He died April 10th, 2024.
Okay.
God, almost a year ago
almost
already.
A year.
Jesus.
How old was he at the time?
76 years old.
Okay.
That's pretty average.
He was ill, but he was ill. So.
Yeah, I'll never forget his first when he joined Twitter, when he got released from jail, and like his very first video is him, and he's like, hey guys, it's OJ here. There's been a lot of misconceptions about things that have happened in my life. We're going to clear some things up, or like clear the air. And everybody was like,
are you searching for the killer still? Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing about OJ Simpson, is that he was so congenial. His personality in public was like so bright, charismatic. Even when he would jump on Twitter, even though knowing he murdered his wife and Ron Goldman, you're like, OJ pops up and he's like, hey, it's OJ. It's your friend OJ. And if you look at the photos of what Nicole Kidman's body looked like, it is horrific what he did to her.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to say allegedly, because he did it.
Remember the psychiatrist out in Los Angeles, what caused OJ to go off the deep end? Do you remember that? It disappeared after this guy I can't remember what show he was even on. Well, I'm not defending OJ. I'm just telling you why he became such a criminal and, not the best person on earth. People don't know this, but OJ Simpson's father was a transvestite. He actually said that on a talk show. It's like, okay, so you can go kill people now? That's okay?
My theory, and I really wish his family had done this, it was CTE from his NFL days.
Oh, yeah.
If his family had donated his brain for research to Boston University, I bet they would have been able to conclude that he had CTE. Because domestic violence goes hand in hand with CTE.
That's what I hear, yeah. No question about it. I got to bring up something to you and Doug, because Tevin and AJ already know about this. During the show today, I got an email from the President of the United States saying, Tom, I've sent you a gift, right? So I checked it out, and it's a hat. And I don't think it qualifies as a gift, because I see that my credit card was charged $100 for it.
Donald.
How does he have your credit card?
I don't know. I've met him a couple of times, a few times, whatever. He came on the queue back, 40 years ago. He started back then. So, but it's just, don't tell me you sent me a gift if I have to pay for it like 20 times more than anybody else would pay for it.
I'd be disputing that on my credit card.
I think I will.
I'd be calling them up being like,
I think I will.
What was Kirby Puckett's wife? What was her name? Do you remember?
Oh, I loved her. She was great.
Oh boy,
Tanya.
You're not going to like this story then. So
Tanya
I've got
Puckett.
a guy who worked with me, grew up with Kirby in Chicago. In fact, before the 87, during the 87 season, he used to come to the dealership all the time, because they didn't become huge stars until after they won.
Yeah.
But this friend of mine, Greg, got invited to a Christmas or a New Year's party at Kirby's place. And there was, 20 couples there or something. As they left, Tanya gave each one of them a bill.
There you go. So
wow.
For a party?
Here, you owe me 50. Yeah. Well, it was a dinner party, so but
if you invite people to a dinner party, don't you assume that your meal is covered?
paying for it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if you're the best baseball player in the world,
yeah, this was, I think,
you can cover this tab. Yeah.
The winner of '88. So it's anyway.
we can close the show with a wonderful thing that happened to me. I won't say that. Well, the restaurant's not even around anymore, so it doesn't matter. Walked into a restaurant one night, and there were 3 women sitting at a table, and they started yelling my name to come over to the table, right? So I go to the table. It was Tanya Puckett, it was Chuck Knobloch's wife, and it was Paul Molitor's wife. The 3 of them all getting divorced. We're at a table, and they sit down here. We got to have you do some stuff on your show. I'm like, oh God.
God, can you imagine having those 3 on your show? That would have been awesome.
That would have been unbelievable. But I suppose their lawyers wouldn't let them do that, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, all of a sudden I was going to be chirping for the women who formerly were married to 3 very good, Knobloch's wife, Molitor's wife, and Tanya Puckett.
The Divorcees Club. I love it.
The Divorcees Club.
And I was going to be Divorcees Club.
Their spokesperson, apparently.
The tea at that table was probably piping hot.
I'm thinking, no question about it. Oh, God, what was the name of that restaurant? It now is on like 5th and Nicollet or something. I think it was like a fish place or something. I don't know what the hell I was. Was it? Maybe it was Ocean Air when it used to be over on like 13th and Nicollet there.
Well, yeah, it used to be across the hall from our favorite steak place that I'm blanking the name on.
Yeah.
Manny's.
Yeah,
Manny's, yeah.
Manny's, yeah.
But then they moved down to,
Yep. They both
I used to go to Ocean Air.
There you go. All right. So any closing words, sister?
Any closing words? Well, you've got a lot of TV to watch.
I do. Which is a good thing.
So let me know tomorrow what you watched tonight.
Well, I can do that. Absolutely. No question about it. We'll get it done. But of the 4, do you have one that I should start with?
I think Doc is really, really good.
Doc.
And you know what? I'm going to give you 2. Doc, because Molly Parker leads that cast.
Okay.
And Found, because Shanola Hampton leads that cast. You love a strong woman, leading female character. I think those are your 2 shows.
Magnificent. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Kristen Bird, Entertainment News, right on time and everything. That was amazing. First time ever.
We did it one time.
Yeah, the one time that has happened. Kristen Bird, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Any closing words for people's lives? Making their lives better?
I mean, if you...
Yeah, for you.
Go ahead, Tevin.
Tevin trampled you. It was wonderful.
I know Tevin should go.
No, go ahead, Kristen.
No, I don't have anything. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were about to jump off, so I was going to say, if you really want to make your life better, you go to YouTube. You go to the Tom Barnard Show. Yes, hit subscribe. You hit follow. You leave comments. Do all that.
How's that doing? Is that doing well?
Yeah, numbers are up.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a good thing. No question about it. My numbers were the highest ever when I was crabby, like every morning. They were skyrocketing. Because I think, well, at least I'm not as crabby as he is.
Your crabby weeks, your ratings go up?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, there's no question about it.
Interesting.
So you can poke the bear, and then we'll get higher ratings. It'd be fantastic.
Tom, do you jump in the comments when people comment?
Not too much, no.
You should. Matter of fact, say hi.
I've been commenting on social media lately, and I think I'm going to stop doing that, too, because it just, man, that's a nut.
I have a great guest for you guys,
okay,
by the way, for February. So who should I send it to for the information, contact info?
You can send it to me.
Okay. But my friend Teague, former Laker girl, by the way. So she's got a lot of good stories, but she is having a book come out all about doing a social media detox. And since we've talked so much about TikTok and the negative effects of social media, she's got some great tips. And I think she'd be a great guest. She's so much fun.
I've been on X now for about, I guess, 5-6 weeks, and I'm just about at the end of it. It's just not my kind of deal. It just really isn't. There's some nice people, but most of them are not very nice.
Twitter is terrible and nobody should be on it. I'll tell you that. That's a fact.
All hand-to-hand combat right now, I think.
Yeah, that's probably, if there's one app you should jump off of, that's probably that one.
So do you think I should go on TikTok?
I think you should.
Really?
I do.
Yeah,
I could. I mean, I don't care. That stuff doesn't bother me. I've been on Facebook. I've been on what are the other ones that kind of went away? Where'd they go?
Well, Instagram's still around, and Snapchat usually it's for the youngsters, and
all you youngsters.
But TikTok, you could put show clips on TikTok, like some of like the funny short clips. Yeah. They do very well, I think, on TikTok.
No doubt about it. Well, I will. I really, and nothing against the people that are on there, but it's just not my kind of deal. It's just, my God, there's a lot of bitching on there.
Well, yeah, that's Twitter in a nutshell.
It sucks. It's like, Jesus, grow up, for Christ's sake. Calm down.
Go to TikTok and look at little puppy videos. You'll love it.
You know what? I really hate is that there's a lot of celebrities that do it, and Elon Musk does it too. Can you see the numbers in this picture? Yes, I can see all of them. If you can, you'll win $1 million. I responded, haven't gotten my million yet. I don't know why I haven't gotten the million yet, but I assumed it's got to be in the mail someday, huh?
Yeah, well, you just got to send them your bank information and your social security number.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the funny thing. When Elon Musk did away with the verified system of like legitimately verifying celebrities or journalists, people then bought into the verified system for whatever it is, $8 or $15 a month. I don't even know what it is. And then they were like, Elon Musk 146222. So people can then impersonate with the blue check mark saying that they're Elon or that they're some sort of, celebrity. I get them all the time, and they'll slide into my DMs and they're like, this is Brad Pitt. Hey, how you doing? And I'm like, Brad Pitt is not sliding into my DMs. You're Brad Pitt 462ANDR. Like, I don't know what that means.
The one that's dying of cancer and screwing widows out of hundreds of $1,000s. Is that the Brad Pitt you are?
Bad Brad Pitt,
What are you going to do? Because I got to find a new spot. It's way too negative for me. They complained about I don't think that's actually Elon Musk that's doing that. It's probably an impersonator. But I don't know. Maybe it is him. I don't know. I don't go that deep into it. But I'm getting to the point I'm just about had enough of social media for a while again.
Well, I'll send Teague your way for your social media detox with her new book.
You know what I just love about that, too? You're going to love it when I send you naked pictures of my breasts. I'm like, I've seen breasts before. I'm good. I mean, do people actually still do that kind of stuff?
Oh, do you know how many unsolicited pics of men I get?
Oh, I bet
they just love to send photos of their penis. Yes, I get them all the time, and I'm like,
oh God. Here
that was my favorite line in the first series of White Lotus when the grandpa's sitting around. He goes, "It's a penis, for Christ's sake. It's not like it's a sunset."
And then he whipped it out, didn't he? Right on television.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, all you behave. Well, family show's coming up in about 10 minutes, something like that. When you can come on a family show again, KB2?
You haven't invited me.
Well, we got to get you on there because my family loves you. I don't know why, but they think the world of you.
Thanks. I'll come on whenever you want me to. Just let me know.
Thank you very much. Talk to this crowd tomorrow. Back in about 10 minutes. Family show.